Evening, everybody. How are we doing? Mr. Flynn back at it again with some awesome commentary today for the lovely Tier 3 console, WOR. And today, unfortunately, I am going to be doing a solo commentating today, as Darkness is unavailable, which isn't a problem. You know, these things do happen, so like I said, it's not a massive problem, but I'll tell you what, we've got some awesome racing action for tonight. We have a lovely, and I'm excited for it, a sprint race here at Texas known as COTA, and I cannot wait. So we're going to have a short qualifying, followed a quick 10-lap sprint race, and then into the proper race with 28 laps around the amazing track of Texas. But speaking of Texas, it has a total of 20 corners, which is going to be quite tricky to navigate, potentially in Sector 1 when you enter Turn 2 all the way down to number 9, as you've got a bit of a tricky S section, you could say, right about there, and then a few more tricky corners as you go up and down. It's like an up and downhill circuit, you could say. So it's uphill and then it's downhill, so it's a bit of a slight technical uphill and downhill circuit. And two lovely DRS zones. One, your first DRS zone, sorry, it's going to be on the exit of turn 11 down to turn 12, so it'll be your first dose of DRS, and a massive backstretch, I say. So we're going to get many overtaking opportunities down that straight. And then on the exit of turn 20 down to turn 1 in the start and finish straight, a lovely another dose of DRS there. So more overtaking opportunities and more action waiting to go on the track. And probably down in Sector 3 as well is where we're going to see a few, maybe up the inside. I believe it's going to be the lovely turn 14 or 15, where you can just send up the inside if you have bravery in your car and racecraft and drivability. So we will see what happens with that. Awesome racing tonight, awesome drivers. A couple of reserves in tonight, so we'll get to that later on as we get to qualifying very shortly. Just waiting on a few more drivers to join the lobby, and then we'll be good to go, really. So yeah, hope everyone in the chat is doing well tonight, fingers crossed. And if there's any engineers watching or anybody who's just tuning in, a warm welcome to you guys. How are you all doing? Hope you're doing well. And got a big smile on my face. I am very excited. But it's going to be quite a long stream today, so hopefully we can do well and crack on, really, very shortly. And the big question is, some users, or viewers, shall I say, will be asking, will there be rain? And it's pretty debatable here at Texas. It can be around about a 50-50 chance of rain. It could be nice and sunny, or it could be the hints of some dreadful, depressing rain. But the weather is on dynamic, so it all depends on what the game wants to do and wants to really decide. So yeah, we're just, like I said, we're just waiting to crack on with the lobby. We've got 16 drivers in so far. I believe we're meant to have 18 drivers. So like I said, just literally playing the patient game, and we shouldn't be too much longer, so we should be on the way very shortly. But like I always say as well at the beginning of the stream, if you have any predictions or tyre strategies, do feel free to let me know, as I love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are on that. Or if you have any, possibly, what was I going to say? I've completely forgotten. Oh yes, qualifying results. Who do you believe the top 3 are going to be for qualifying? And then of course we've got the sprint race, and then we have the main race. So let me know what your qualifying predictions are, as I would love to hear that, and who you think is going to be on the podium for tonight's sprint race and proper race. So yeah, what can we do? What can we do whilst we're waiting? I guess we're going to have a talk about the constructors. So let me just bring that up on my side, as I completely forgot about that, but I need to find it first. Just bear with for a second, chat. So have a quick look through and see if I can find what I'm looking for. Here we go. Standings, season 15. Let's have a look, shall we? So I want my spreadsheet that no one else can touch except the admins, which update the results. Okay, here we go. Is this console? This is indeed console. Just confirming. Having a look through, please. And I believe we actually have the ping to confirm that we are ready to go. We are. So everyone is ready and up. So whilst we're waiting for the lobby to get ready and stuff like that, we could talk about the championship. So currently in P1 in the drivers is going to be Dan in the team at Alpine, and he is ahead by 89 points, but Nino in that McLaren is slowly closing in by around about 68 points, so he's a bit far off, but if he does well today and cuts down the gap to Dan, then we could be intrigued for a very exciting championship to the end of the season. And then Rev Caterpillar in the Aston Martin is only 53 points in total, so he's around about 36 points behind P1 and P2, and P2 to P1 is about 21 points, so a gap of 21 is quite close. So that's intriguing and exciting to know and note. And a quick look at your constructors. McLaren, Pico and Nino, they are on 82 points in McLaren so far, and then it's Aston Martin in P2 with 65 points. That's Harvey and Rev Caterpillar, and then you got Dan and Antagonized on 56 points. Absolutely phenomenal. So let's see what the lovely track of Kota can bring for us today, because everyone, I'll tell you right now, watching this is very, very excited. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go on the screen a little bit early, and let's crack on and see what's popping with tonight at the lovely track of Kota, Texas, whatever you want to call it. Feel free, by whatever you call the track. Everyone's got different ideas and opinions, so that is fine. Go what you are comfortable and base with, but let's get into it and let's crack on. Everyone in the pit lane right now, not much is going on with activity wise. 17 drivers today, so not a full lobby, but we've got enough drivers in the lobby to give us some awesome racing on the track, and drivers as well will be especially happy because there's no rain at the moment. There is no rain, so they'll be very, very happy that there's no rain, but there could be some rain in the sprint race. There could be some rain in the main race. I don't know. I'm not too sure, as I can't see that part. Unfortunately, that is what happens. So I can't see that part, so we're just going to bear with for now and see if anyone in the Discord will like to let me know. Or if you're in the chat and you're a team principal or maybe a race engineer, feel free to let me know what is going on with rain-wise and stuff like that, if there is any. But anyways, Daddy on the track right now in the AlphaTauri. A lovely skin, I must say, in the F1 game. Absolutely love it. And I absolutely love that Daniel Ricciardo, even though he had his injury back at, I believe it was Zandvoort, when he had his hand stuck in the wheel, which is a bit of an ouch, and I feel quite sorry for him. But the AlphaTauri looking stunning, and I'm glad that Daniel Ricciardo has made a return to F1, shall we say. Anyways then, on board with Cam as well, in the Alfa Romeo right about now, and I must say, his skin as well, Alfa Romeo, stunning in the game as well, absolutely fantastic. Not many drivers on the grid so far, shall I say. We've got the Williams on the track as well. We've got Luca, who else we've got? We've got Luca, we've got both Williams on the tracks right now. We've got Zorro in the Mercedes out on the track, and many more making their way onto the track very, very shortly. But let's get pumped and let's get ready, and let's go on board with Daddy in the AlphaTauri, shall we? So we'll see how he gets on. If he has any mistakes or any major issues, we'll then switch to Luca in that lovely, amazing Ferrari. Vamos, shall we say. So here comes Daddy then. He is approaching the final couple of corners. He's in sector 3 right about now, but coming up to turn number 19, right on board, because why not? Get an on-board POV so he can start his lap and give him some good luck, chat. Give him some good luck and see how he gets on the exit at turn 20 now. You want to take a fairly wide exit and then just foot to the floor. DRS is enabled before the start and finish line. ERS is on, so he's draining that battery all the way down to turn number 1 on an uphill section now. This can be a bit of a blind bend really, so you need to make sure that if you're there whilst you're leaving the pit lane and there's a driver on a quick lap, make sure to move out of the way as quick as you possibly can. But now Daddy in the AlphaTauri right about now in sector 1 in the S section, and is not doing too bad. He's gone purple in sector 1. That does mean he's the fastest driver at the moment on the track, but this is just a quick bank lap, so he's going to be obviously setting purple sectors because it's the first lap on the track at the moment. So we'll see how he gets on the exit at turn 11 now. DRS is about to be enabled right about there. Yellow flags waving left, right and centre around about 19 and 20. That is just because drivers are backing up and making gaps. They can start that lap and crack on. But Daddy, no issues from the man in the AlphaTauri seat at the moment. Looking stunning, looking confident, and lighting up the track with purple sectors, of course. The first banker on the lovely track of Texas. But this is the tricky part of the track where I normally race. I kind of struggle. It's in Sector 3. But now, turn 17, 18, a flat out, almost right-hander. And you can take a flat out there, but if you get the corner completely wrong, then your car is going to completely go sideways. But I thought he invalidated there on the exit of 19, but he managed to save it, and he's across the line. It's a 132.4. What can Luca do in the Ferrari? Can he challenge the AlphaTauri? He can't. He can only do a 132.5 at the moment. The Aston Martin of Harvey, which I believe was about to come across the line, but no, he wasn't. That was going to be Rev Caterpillar. My apologies. Who I believe is starting lap. So we're going to have the Alfa Romeo across the line. That's Cam. And he's on a 132.2. The fastest driver on the track so far. It's on a stunning lap from Cam there. So can he keep it on pole? Or can anyone like Zoe in that Williams take it away? Come up to turn 20 now. DRS is going to be enabled before the start and finish. So you want to make sure you get the car correct here. And he goes P2, a 132.2. The Mercedes about to cross the line. It's a 132.0, almost in the 131s. And that's Zorro that crosses the line. That's a mega lap. Like I said, almost in the 131s. Absolutely crazy. And it gets very, very exciting now as we're going to have the Alpine of Antagonized cross the line. Can they challenge for pole? They can't at the moment, but they've done a 132.1. That's not a bad banker. Still a lot more pace that Antagonized can show us tonight. Dan, our championship leader, I believe, in the Alpine, currently P4, a 132.2. So, obviously, drivers, first lap on the track, they will definitely improve as the track starts to ramp up and get warmer. And just like that, look at Suddy across the line in that Red Bull, a 132.006. Ever so closer than Zorro on his first lap in the 131s. It's absolutely crazy. But what can Caterpillar do across the line? And it's only P8 for the Aston Martin driver, a 132.4. Anybody else about to come across the line? Drivers starting a lap. Let's see. Nino on a lap right now. Adam Dude has him validated, unfortunately, so their lap won't count. So the pros go around the track again and set another lap, or they might be back in the pit lane to get another fresh set of tyres, stuff like that. But I believe they say name. I think it's Sasha. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Oh, they've gone really wide there on the exit of turn 11. No idea where they were going, and they haven't validated, unfortunately. So their lap will not count. So that's a bit of an F in the chat, but it happens. You might get slightly distracted and go a little bit wide than expected. But Nino in McLaren now on the exit of 11. He has DRS enabled. And here we go then. Down to turn number 12. And then we got 14, 13, 15, 16, 17. All those corners. But Nino has actually backed off in Sector 3. He didn't like it on the exit of 12. And he's backed off, I believe. Yeah, he's backed off. So he wasn't very happy with that lap time. So he might be back into the pit lane for another fresh set of tyres and trying to figure out what on earth has just happened. But so far, Tuddy on pole position, Zorro and P2, and P3 antagonized. That's your top three. So not too bad. And drivers so far, absolutely crazy. They are all within a second, and only 52 thousandths separate the top two. Absolutely insane. But we've got Luca on the track again, as I can see. And Jacob, I think that's how you say the name, is on a quick lap now. Currently in P11, his first lap time was a 132.6. That's not a bad banker to set here at, excuse me, the lovely track of Texas. So let's see how he gets on. So far in Sector 1, he's not done too bad there. even though we joined halfway through. But the S section was pretty nailed, really. No major issues. Slightly wide, but like I said, not any major issues. But here we go then. Exit of 11, and on the run down to, what would you say? Down to 12, but I've just realised, ran on board with him, and he's actually got no battery. So, bit of an embarrassing moment for commentating-wise, commentating a driver and realising that they are on a in-lap and not a hot lap, shall we say. But look at that, the pit lane and exit right now is starting to get very, very busy, and this could be a bit of troubles for Luca as you got that uphill section where you won't be able to see any cars. So hopefully those drivers will politely move out of the way as Luca makes his way around 20, DRS enabled, down to the line of turn 1. Will he improve any position? Currently P10. Let's see what the Ferrari man can do. So here we are then. Ferrari right now. Bit of a slide there on the exit of turn 1. Not ideal. Not what you really want. But it's not too bad with 8 minutes and 50 seconds of qualifying to go. I know it might sound a bit weird me saying it like that. But I like to be very, very precise. And so far, he's 2/10 up in Sector 1. So that's not a bad improvement. So far, he's roughly, from the top of my head, ooh, a 132.3 or a 132.2 so far, roughly. That's what I want to say. But he's had a massive moment there on the exit of 11. He just lost the back end completely. And I believe he's still pushing. He is still going for this lap. So he's not given up just yet, even though he had that moment. He knows there's still time to find. So, into Sector 3 now, the tricky part of the track where you could get caught up in traffic, which isn't ideal. He is currently a 10th up right about now, so that's not ideal with that moment on 11, like we saw, the back end, just a bit of a slippy slide there, you could say. But, so, it doesn't really matter, because it's still an improvement, but not by much. But if he can find a lot of time in Sector 3, this could be a massive improvement for Luca. So, around 19... and then the final corner at 20, I say that, he's bailed into the pit lane, so he wasn't very happy with that lap time. And to be honest, I can understand why he wouldn't have been happy with his lap time whatsoever. Now, I believe Cam is on a outlap, but he has invalidated. I believe one of the Aston Martins, or I say one of the Aston Martins, they are both on a outlap. I know there's one driver on a lap, and I believe it's one of the Williams. And Zoe is on one. So let's see how they get on. In Sector 3 right about now, as some drivers are trying to jump the queue with some others and trying to get the laps done as quickly and as possibly as they can. But here comes Zoe on the exit at 20. DRS enabled, but the Red Bull there. Oh, did he get in the way? Or was that a helpful use of a toe there? As he went P2, a 132.043. So the top 3 separated by not a 10th, but roughly a crazy amount of 37 thousandths and 52 thousandths of a second. That is by far the best qualifying I have seen. Absolutely fantastic. But here comes the McLaren now in P5. He improves actually to go pole position and steals it away from, I believe that was Zorro, who had it for a split second. And then the McLaren said, thank you very much. I'll take P1. A 131.9. Zorro in P2 now, a 131.9. So these two roughly close. So the top 2 getting very, very close. I'm quite scared to see what other drivers can do on the track to fine improvement and crack on with that, as Cam is coming around the final corner and goes on provisional pole position, a 131.8. So he's found a lot more time than McLaren and the Mercedes at this moment. But the big question is, can potentially anybody else find any more time in Rev Caterpillar? Not happy with their lap time, back into the pit lane. Sasha in that Red Bull has put a lap time of a 132.9, but the battery is completely gone, so they're definitely coming back into the pit lane and attempting to get a fresh set of tyres on before qualifying runs out. But here comes Adam Dude up to the line, and it's only P8 at the moment, a 132.2, but that was their first bank lap, and to set a lap like that That's not too bad. So I think Adam Dude will be very happy with that one. There's actually a Ferrari round at turn 1. And I believe, is that Luca that was round? No, it's not. It's going to be his teammate. That was round at turn 1. Bit of an interesting one there. Must have lost the back end or something. And he is provisionally in P18 with no lap time yet. And is on a outlap, shall we say. So hopefully they can find time and see what kind of time they can do for the first time around this track, which is going to be quite exciting, shall I say. So I cannot wait for that. But if drivers, and I mean it, if drivers want to get a lap done right about now with 4 minutes to go, they need to go, I'd say fairly soon, probably 3.5, 2.5, just because this track is quite lengthy, and I believe it's around about circuit length is 5.513 kilometers. So that's quite a big range of track distance. So if you want to get a lap in and warm your tires up and burn fuel, so there you are, job done. If you want to get one more lap in, you need to go now. But here comes Adam Dude into the pit lane. Hopefully they can get out just in the nick of time to get one more lap in, or that might be them done and dusted. But remember, we have got a sprint race, so the sprint race, obviously this qualifying will determine the sprint race results, and then the sprint race results also determines the qualifying for the actual race as well. So we'll see how that gets on. But here comes the Ferrari, who had a spin at turn 1, so hopefully they don't make the same major mistake as they come to turn 1. And they've gone completely straight on. And they're going to reset the track as well, which isn't ideal. But straight on at turn 1, that's a bit of a yikes. So P18 for the Ferrari man. He's not having luck at the moment, is he? He's not having much luck, which is a bit unfortunate. But fingers crossed, he can find that luck and put a decent lap time in to put him somewhere in the grid order. But on board with Zoe, P5 at the moment for Williams, which isn't actually too bad. It's a pretty good lap time there. So let's see, on the exit of 20, takes a wide entrance to the final corner. On the start and finish, DRS is open. ERS is burning on that car. Oh, are they? Hopefully they don't get in the way. And as I've done that, I've taken them off the driver. So let's put ourselves back on the driver, which we've done now. And here is the Williams then, on one more flying lap to see if they can improve. And I say that with 2 minutes to go, they have invalidated. So fingers crossed, if they have enough fuel, they can go one more time and pray they do not invalidate. But let's go on board with the AlphaTauri of Daddy, who was the first one to go on the track. And so far, they are currently in P9. Can they improve on their lap time and position? We are about to find out, as we're going to go on board and give us our POV. Like I say, they go wide at the exit of 20 to get a really good exit. But I say that, and Daddy got a bit of an awful exit there, a bit of a slidey rear end loss. But hopefully his lap time will definitely improve. But let's see how he does at turn 1 now. You want to get as close as you possibly can. Go a little bit wider, then completely turn sharply in. And then as he makes his run into the yes section now. So let's see how he gets on in this part of like turns 6, 7, 8 and 9. The tricky part now is going to be 8 and 9. You've got to go right, as you say there, the G-force. Can you imagine there's F1 cars? And then left completely. Absolutely crazy. But they seem to be flying and seem to be doing pretty darn good. But drivers have got one last blow and one more chance to get this qualifying nailed to perfection. Here we go then. Daddy coming down to turn 12 now. How are they going to do? How are they going to perform? Let's find out if they're down or up on their time. On a fresh set of soft tyres. And they are purple, according to the game. But they're only 16 thousandths of a second up, which isn't much. But that will slowly bring them up the grid. So sector 3, it's where it's all gonna kick off and where it's gonna be. And Luca is 61 thousandths of a second up. So they're doing slightly better than the AlphaTauri at this moment in time. But Sector 3 is where it's all going to be. Someone has retired, and that's going to be, I believe, Justin. Oh, Daddy's got it completely wrong there. Absolutely wrong. Messes up the final corner, and he won't improve on position, but he will invalidate on his time. Here comes Luca to the line, and he improves by only a slight margin, but only to P12. And now next across the line is going to be Tuddy, and then an Alpine right behind him. Can Tuddy find any lap time and get himself back into the top 3? Let's find out right here, right now. He doesn't improve, sorry. He's a 10th down in his time, and he's been dropped to P5. As Antagonized in the Alpine found a lot of improvement, a 1:31.9, currently P2. And then Dan across the line, P3, finding the time that he needed, a 1:31.910. So close for third and second right now, but a double, you could say, what would you say, pole, or not pole, grid lookout for the second, or the second row-ish, but P2 and P3 for the Alpines. That is mega, and that is very impressive. Nino about to cross the line and doesn't find any improvement on the track whatsoever, so he'll improve by a slight improvement, but won't improve on grid position, and he stays 14th. And now it's all about Zorro, but he has invalidated, so he'll be starting P5 for the race. That was phenomenal to watch for qualifying, but only some drivers managing to get in the 1:31s. That was an absolute treat and an absolute delight to watch. Rightio, there we have it then. Your top 3. Cam in the Alfa Romeo takes pole position for the qualifying. So let's see how he gets on in the sprint race, and then Antagonized in P2 in the Alpine. A 10th off of Cam, but that's not too bad and not too shabby. But our big blows and woes are going to be third for Dan in the Alpine, a 1:31.910. And it's a 10th off for Cam as well. But look how close the two Alpines are. Similar on pace. Everybody within a second. Let's find out what happens lap 1, especially turn 1. That's going to be exciting and an absolute delight to watch. So, as well, again, there is no rain on the track at the moment. It's still sunny skies, sunny spells. So, let's see what happens. There is a confirmed no restart. Yeah. Gonna wait and see what happens. We're just waiting in the pit lane for the race to get underway with the 5 red lights. Watching the crowd, you know, cheering away their drivers, arms in the air, like they just don't care. Looking at the lovely pit crew boxes and little hubby holes. But what I do miss from this game, which they need to bring back, EA, if you're watching, you need to bring this back. We need the T-posing. I absolutely miss all the pit crew members T-posing. So, you know what? We need to bring that back. But if you are enjoying the stream so far, make sure to give it a lovely thumbs up. And if you love the racing action here, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you keep up to date for when we go live for our console tiers, for our PC tiers, especially PC tier 1. That is an amazing stream to go ahead and watch. Awesome content on there. But every stream that happens here, PC2, PC3, all the PC tiers, all the console tiers, all the Xbox tiers, and the Legacy Division tiers, make sure to go and give them a like, give them a watch when they're live as well, because I tell you what, they can get absolutely crazy with racing wheel-to-wheel action, and many, many things can happen. It's just such a delight and treat to watch on the track. So yeah, we're going to get under the way very, very shortly. There has been a message in the chat that we can ready up, but so far no one has readied up just yet. So I don't really know what the delay is, but we should get on the way very, very shortly for the race. Or not for the race yet, for the sprint. So, yeah. Any predictions, let me know in the chat, and I'll try my very, very best to watch. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here at Texas today. Lap 1, turn 1, let's see what happens. It's a very even start, you could say, for the top two, but Cam gets a better start, and he defends that inside line. There's actually positions happening left, right, and centre from the McLaren, switching between Dan and other bits of bobs. Someone has been disqualified for going the wrong way, and that is a bit of an interesting one, but they didn't go off the line or didn't get started or whatever happened. That wasn't ideal. There is a lot of tumbling going down the order. Justin has got a 5-second time penalty to serve, as he had a collision with, I believe that's Smeggy in the Williams down in P18, who are actually under virtual safety car, and this is only lap 1. So, yeah, that was interesting, but I've just been notified in the chat, unfortunately, it is going to be a restart, as we're having a few technical issues and a few problems here and there. We do apologise for this. It's not meant to happen, unfortunately, but sometimes it does happen. So I'm going to play some adverts whilst you're just watching the carnage unfold by the drivers DNFing and chilling, having a bit of fun before the lobby is made. And Harvey will send out the invites to get the drivers back in as quickly and as possibly as he can. And then he's going to have to sort the grid order out, which will take a few minutes. So just bear with for now. Bear with the patience. And I promise you guys, it won't be long. And I'll see you guys in a few. I'll play some adverts, put you back on the camera screen so you can see my lovely face. And we'll just talk about qualifying and try and ramble on as much as we can. So I'll see you guys in a few. We are back, and we're just waiting for the lobby to get back up and running, and just waiting for those invites to come through, and it'll just take a bit of time. So for right now, we're going to sit tight and chill. Here's a little bit of a mess, so we're going to try and fix that, you know, but I've managed to fix it a little bit, but it's the best as we're going to get. But no, what an absolutely amazing qualifying we had today at Texas so far, and I'm pretty excited for the racecraft around this track. You know, 10 lap sprint followed by a 28 lap race around the track. Yeah, pretty interesting to see what they can do. Obviously qualifying, I didn't expect it to be that close, but obviously P1 about a 10th away from the top two, second and third, which wasn't too bad. But what was pretty exciting and absolutely insane is the two Alpines. Quite similar on pace, shall I say. P2, 104 tenths off of Cam, which is a pretty big gap for P1. But in third, a 109. That is like, what, calculations? 3/4 thousandths of a second separating third and second. It just goes to show that track evolution can happen on the track and can be absolutely crazy. But I've just been back, not back, I've just been invited to the lobby, so we should get underway in about a few moments. We've got to go ahead and just get everyone back in and then sort out the grid order very, very quickly. So, like I say, shouldn't be too long. I appreciate all the patience. I really, really do. But if anybody is in the chat and you would love to say hello so I don't feel a bit awkward waiting, feel free to say hello and feel free to let me know what your predictions are for the sprint race and the race itself, as it's going to be a long one today. And then after this race on the calendar, we did have what was it? We did have Las Vegas, which is round number 8. But there's a big but in this sentence. I was going to say, depending on this track, but we won't see next week, as we've got a season break happening this coming week. So the week after that, we'll be back to racing. So yeah, that's going to be a bit weird to you know, be a bit weird to not have any commentating for next week. But you know, you get used to it. You get used to it. But you know, the drivers need a bit of a cool down, a bit of a break. All commentators just need a bit of a relax and a bit of a calm down on the old voice box. You know, as we try our best to give you as much exciting content as we can provide. But you know, just waiting to crack on. It shouldn't be too long now. It shouldn't be too long. Fingers crossed. But like I say, we will see what happens. I'm just not a fan of playing the patient game, should I say. So yeah, everyone's in. Harvey's just got to get the lobby grid thing, whatever you call it, grid editor sorted, and then we can crack on. So yeah, qualifying, that was interesting, phenomenal to watch. We're talking about the championship with the drivers and the constructors. That's ever so slightly close. I can talk about it again if you're just tuning in. A warm welcome to you guys. Make sure to hit that thumbs up, and if you're new and you love the content you see on the channel with other console tiers, PC tiers, legacy divisions, and the Xbox tiers, feel free to hit that subscribe button, have a look at the channel. The Discord links and all the information are down below in the description if you want to come and join and be a part of an awesome and amazing sim racing community. But yeah, having a look at the championship standings, yeah, Dan taking the lead by 89 points so far, and Nino in the McLaren, not so well in qualifying. He's still got a sprint race and a race to score some extra points if he possibly can. But Nino in P2 on 68 points, and the gap between 1 and 2 is around about 21, which isn't too bad, but it's quite exciting. So we'll see how Nino can perform today, if he can outscore or score as many points as he possibly can to chomp down the gap to Dan. And then it was Rev Caterpillar in the Aston Martin on 53 points, and he is around about 36 points behind 1 and 2. So we'll see what happens. I say 1 and 2, I mean P1, not P2, because P2 to P3 would be a little bit different. My calculation is slightly wrong, so yeah, you have to bear with. Flynn can get slightly confused, and things and mistakes can happen. But yeah, that was the championship we discussed and talked about, and then we had the constructor standings. Obviously McLaren, Nino himself, and Pico on 82 points at the moment. Not too bad. They've had a really good, I would say, season so far, scoring as many points as they possibly can. And then you have Aston Martin, who are on 65 points. The gap to obviously P1 would roughly be about 17 points. So if Aston Martin can do well today with the sprint race and the not feature race, because it's not F2. If they could do well in the sprint race and then the main race, they can score some big points and chomp the gap down to McLaren and Alpine in P3 on a total of 56 points, which isn't too bad. The gap from them to P1 though is around about 26. So Alpine could score big points here, and a lot of opportunities could be on the line with where they are currently chilling and vibing at the moment. But like I say, we're done qualifying. It's time for a sprint race. Let's get ready. Everything is done and dusted. The lobby is good to go. We are loading in now with 20 seconds remaining. Let's head on over to lovely gameplay screen where you can see everything. You can see all the drivers readying up. You can see the lovely countdown screen and those bits and bobs. But let's crack on. Let's get into it. Here we go for Texas once again. Hopefully no major issues. We can get some awesome racing with a sprint race and then the main race. So let's see. A second chance for what's his name? I've forgotten already. But whoever's in P2 alongside P1 has a chance to get a better start. And I believe who I'm thinking of is antagonized in P2 for Alpine. He has a second chance to get a better launch than P1 to take it away from the driver in P1. So let's see what happens. And we've got around about 20 seconds till we can go. So I can stop stalling and sounding awkward on the stream. And as you guys want, you want some action? Let's give you some action in around about 5 seconds time. Here we go. So we're gonna have a bit of a waiting time as drivers have got to remember if you're watching, remember setups. Most important thing of it all, setups. Remember them, and they've got to do their strategy, which would be probably. I'm thinking hards or mediums. Softs won't last 10 laps. They might, but it might be a push. That's all I'm gonna say. It might be a slight push to the end of the sprint race. But let's have a look in the Discord to see what's going on and see if they're being told to wait. Okay, so they're going to ready up in about a minute's time. They're going to ready up at 45 past here in the UK. So 15 minutes till it hits 9 o'clock. So, yeah, we've still got a main race. It's going to be, like I say, and keep saying, just to remind you guys, it's going to be a long one tonight. So make sure to stay tuned. I do appreciate everybody's patience so far. You guys are absolutely amazing. Like I say, apologies for the delay. We had a bit of an issue at the start. Someone being disqualified and then some unfair penalties. So hopefully it's a bit better. And hopefully the game doesn't have its moments. But here we go then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights here at Texas. It's going to be, hopefully, lights out, and away we go. And Cam getting a really good start there. And I believe Antagonized didn't get the greatest start. He's got a bit of the worst start you could possibly imagine, really, because he's been shoved off the track, you could say. And Tuddy into P3, and McLaren into P2. So it's been an awful, awful start for Antagonized in the Alpine so far. And that Williams up into P4 at the moment. And yeah, so a dreadful start actually for Alpine, losing so many positions, costly positions, and possible point scoring opportunities in the sprint race to close their way down in the constructors. So yeah, not an ideal start for Alpine, as we've got a lunge up the inside, you could say. Rev Caterpillar giving it all it can take on in that Mercedes as we make our run down to turn number 12. And it's looking really well so far for Cam. Currently in P1. The McLaren, though, trying to set a pounce, which is Nino on Zorro down to turn 12. Is Nino going to get the job done? unfortunately not. He's not going to get it done just yet, as Zoro got the better exit, the better traction, the better momentum, and stays in P10. Had a little bit of a moment there, you could say. And so far, no one is switching in Sector 3. I say that, and Justin having a bit of a battle with, you could say, Jacob in that Alfa Romeo. And Daddy trying to get involved in the action, who didn't have the best of starts either, and finds himself down in P17. I thought he was going to send up the inside there on the Alfa Romeo, but decided not to. And someone going wide, absolutely too wide there, Sasha. And a bit of contact between Sasha and Smeggy. And into the pit lane comes Luca. And is that going to be front wing damage already? And it is. Front wing damage for the Ferrari driver. That's not ideal, but Sasha giving it all it can take on those medium compound tyres. And now Justin getting involved. Ooh, there was a bit of aggression there, a bit of no room there. The Williams given, and they're saying that Smeggy's round as a big contact there with one of the drivers. I didn't really catch who it was, but that was absolutely crazy, and I did not expect that. And yeah, so Smeggy, that might be a report that Smeggy might have to deal with, but lap 2, things are popping off at the back of the grid, but so far at the front of the grid, all the way up at P1, down to P11, everybody within a second. A very big train to start with. Everybody just conserving their tyres, conserving their battery, and waiting for the right time to pounce. As we've got a bit of a battle here, actually. Antagonized on Adam Dude, and antagonized up into P5, and Adam Dude unfortunately dropped down to P6. It could actually be P7 as Rev Caterpillar going for a alternate, different strategy, and on those soft tyres. Can they last 10 laps? We'll find out very, very shortly. And I'm actually going to try and go wheel to wheel in Sector 3 of 17 and 18. Who is going to be last on the brakes for 19? Who's going to give it up? And it's a Mercedes that backs out and tries to go for the switchback, but at the moment doesn't have the momentum and the grip like those soft tyres do at the moment in time. But Rev Caterpillar taking P6, and Adam Dude unfortunately dropping down to P7. And look at that Aston Martin on the soft tyres as well. That's Harvey. Oh, he's going on an attack. He's going on a charge. Is he going to go for a double overtake? Holy moly. That was something I did not expect. He almost took out the Williams there in P5, which was Zoe. That was close. I am surprised that Harvey managed to avoid that one. That got a bit scary. Wow. That was class of reactions there. I think Harvey may have slightly got a bit scared, ever so slightly, but antagonized, trying to stay with the top 3 at the moment, and he will get what shall I say, he will get DRS. I know he won't get DRS. He didn't. He wasn't within the detection zone, but antagonized MP4 at the moment, and we'll stay with these top 3 as we've got the McLaren and Nino fighting for P10 at the moment, or shall I say P9 of Harvey. But never mind, up the inside, or around the outside, shall I say, Zoro goes, and he takes away not 1 but 2 positions up into P9. That was a lovely move, but Harvey's going to set up the inside, and there was slight contact there, but is Harvey going to get the better exit? He is, and they're going to attempt to go wheel to wheel around this double right-hander, almost flat out, but you sometimes have to lift if you're going wheel to wheel, and Harvey's still trying to put his car where he can to get the move done, but unfortunately he can't, and Zoro will take P9 for now, and it's just a bit of a DRS train at the moment for these drivers, so they can't find a way through at this moment in time. But as the race goes on and wear and tyre wear comes into play, those soft tyres, they won't feel the same, they won't feel great, and possibly a little bit of a struggle. But Cam's still in P1 and leading the way. Antagonized is 8/10 behind the top 3, so he's in threat of losing DRS, and if he does, he could be under almighty pressure from the drivers behind of Zoe, Rev Caterpillar, and Adam Dude, who's absolutely flying on those, I believe, medium tyres at the moment. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, Bell, that was slightly naughty from Harvey there. There was no contact, but it was very close, and it was on the verge of almost taking out another driver. So I think for Harvey, is quite lucky he didn't take anybody out. But hello, I thought the McLaren was looking for a move there. And as I say that, his teammate Nino having a bit of a spicy battle with Harvey at the moment. And Harvey not having the best of, you could say, openers on the sprint race, on the soft tyres. Meant to have the advantage on the softs to the mediums, but instead of going forwards, Harvey is going backwards, which isn't ideal. Not at all. Not ideal. Not what you want to see. But I guess, like everyone says, it is what it is. But Antagonized starting to catch on to the top 3 now. Starting to find a little bit more pace on that car. So there's a bit of a moment there on the exit of turn 20, or should I say the entrance of turn 20. And on exit, he got a pretty decent exit there. So no major issues. But like I say, just a massive DRS train from P1 all the way down. You could say to P12 actually, as Sasha having a go on Harvey and gets the move done and dusted at turn 1. And Harvey, could he be having a bit of damage on the car? Can't see anything at the moment, but if he does, he's absolutely suffering. But he seems a lot faster in sector 1, or maybe his soft tires are just overheating or wearing off, shall we say. If I am correct, is it Joseph? Hopefully. How you doing, buddy? How are you? Hello, hello. Yeah, how are you? Ro, you know what? Cobb, he did get smoked in qualifying. He did indeed. So let's see what he can do in the race, shall we? He's not doing too bad. He's doing all right. He's doing all right. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. So, having a look so far. Oh, I say that, and there's a bit of a spicy battle for the top 3. Here goes Tuddy. He's trying it in sector 3. We're at turn number 14, then 15. He doesn't send up the inside because he's not close enough. If they're not careful, Antagonized could squeeze through and take up some more positions. But Tuddy stays in P3. He was looking for P2, but the McLaren, excellent defending, and stays in P2. And Cam, he's still in P1. He's chilling. He's vibing right now. Lap number 6 we go to. Cam still leads the way. And everyone's just really stuck in a DRS train. But here we go then. Dan now in P8. And he's looking to get the move done, maybe. As that Mercedes is flashing. The Aston Martin doesn't have DRS. And oh, my goodness. That was an almighty move there by the Alpine. They're still going to attempt to go wheel-to-wheel in Sector 1 in the S section with the Mercedes flashing. Luca getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That was excellent. From Dan at that moment, but unfortunately he couldn't get the move done as Adam just placing the car where he could to defend from behind, and Rev Caterpillar just managed to get behind that Merc, and then unfortunately the Alpine had to conceal to his original position as Smeggy, the first retirement in the sprint race, to retire and won't be scoring any points for the sprint, as we've got a spicy battle, and that is Dan going wheel to wheel with Rev Caterpillar as we make our way down to turn 12, where DRS will close, and the bit of contact there once again, and they're still going to try and hold it out, these two. The more they fight, the more they lose to the cars ahead, but Rev lets them go, and up into P7 Dan goes to regain where he was at the start of the race, and he's lost a few positions, I believe. He has. He's lost about 4 positions. And a lot of drivers in the sprint race making a lot of gains. And saying that, was that Zorro defending from Nino for P9? If it was, that was some very close defending. Or that might have been Zorro on the attack of Rev Caterpillar. So, nothing much happening, but I say that. There is much happening for the top lead, shall we say. As there's a switch. And it's now the McLaren that takes P1, and Cam's dropped down to P2. Cheeky up the inside, the McLaren did, and Cam had to conceal, and he takes P2, but the Red Bull looking a bit racy-pacey now and might try to take another position away from Cam. But to be honest, if you're in Cam's boots and position, you want to be in P2 because you're going to get DRS not only on the start and finish, but also on the exit at turn 11, so Cam could obviously breeze by if he's close enough. So let's see what Cam decides to do, as the McLaren doesn't get a great exit on traction there, so you can just tell that those medium tyres in the hot turbulent air and in the hot state of where the track is at Texas, you could say, very hot, tyre wear could be falling apart. As we know, tyre wear here at this track and tyre deg absolutely high, so yeah, not ideal. But Cam, as you saw there, got it done before turn 12, and he's back up to P1, so not too bad. And not too shabby at all. Anyways then, let's see what's going on elsewhere on the grid, as other drivers are just chilling and waiting to pounce in this little DRS train. As Harvey, he's not having a great race, is he? He's P11, 4 seconds off P10. And that Red Bull Sasha put him under humongous pressure with an intense battle as we make our way onto lap number 8. There goes Sasha again at turn 1. Is he going to get the move done? He's ahead, but could Harvey go for the switchback? Oh, contact, but Harvey gets it done. And he concealed for P11. That was lovely. But like I say, Harvey, he's not having a great race at all. So, Tuddy in that Red Bull, in P3 at the moment, as Jacob makes a position in the Alfa Romeo up to P13 now. But speaking of Tuddy, he's 2 tenths behind the McLaren. Is he looking to start pushing on position? He's turned that battery on. Is he going to try and get past Is he going to try and get past Cam and that McLaren? As that McLaren isn't burning any battery, but he's going to go for the move on Cam. Also get a bit spicy. Well, he was thinking up the inside or in the middle, but I say that Cam almost went offline there and almost lost the position to the Red Bull. I say that McLaren, if I can get my words out, putting that car in the perfect position, and Cam under humongous pressure now from Tuddy in P3. So now, desperate times, desperate manners, you could say, as we're about to go to lap number 9, the penultimate lap of the sprint race, where you need to start making those moves now and getting them done. So we're going to see a lot of carnage and a lot of chaos unfold on the track. A lot unfold as we make our way down to turn number 1. And Cam not burning that battery. He's waiting, obviously, for the exit of 11. And Cam's gone into the back of the McLaren there. And there's a... Oh my goodness, that's carnage. So what happened is Cam's hit the back of the McLaren there. That's going to be no safety cars on the penultimate lap of the race. The Williams is off the track. That has really hurt Cam's race. He'll have wing damage towards the end of this sprint race. And Cam's going to lose a lot of positions here. But Cam hitting the McLaren not ghosting in time. The McLaren, unfortunate, getting hit by another driver. And that has cost him a retirement. And he'll start P15 in the actual race. That is not ideal. Cam with a lot of work to do as Tuddy has brought out a 3-second gap. And Cam trying to defend really hard now. He's got a lot of work to do. But look at the chaos behind. As the 2 Alpines make their way down to turn 12. And that's Dan getting up ahead past the Alfa Romeo. As the Alfa Romeo is going to struggle so much in Sector 3. If he has damage, he is going to struggle so hard with these mid-downforce sections of the track, as that Mercedes or Zorro is up into P4, and he's really trying to set a charge, as that Alpine as well trying to get that position back for P4. Let's see what happens as Tuddy 2.6 seconds, but Dan rapidly closing up ahead, but I don't think he'll have enough time to close. And look at Rev, he's trying to get past this Alpine, and he's going to try and get the move done before turn 20, but is he going to get the DRS? He's up into P5. The Alpine's losing 2 positions in 1 corner. And that's Nino up into P6 now. Phenomenal stuff happening on the final lap of this race. And we're just about entered it. A lot's going to happen. A lot is going to happen. And can Cam hold off P4? Can he? Can he not? We'll find out what happens. Could Cam regain to P2? It's all going to see what happens as Nino now trying to put a challenge on the Aston Martin, which is flashing, which means he's under 10% and hardly has any battery to drain, as Harvey's up into P8 and Sasha down to P9. So Harvey having a bit of a battle and is actually back in the final paying points for this sprint race. Can Harvey though hang on to it on the exit of 11, as he won't get DRS, but Sasha will. So can Harvey hang on? We'll find out what happens, as Nino's very close to Rev, but the battle is going to be for 4th, 3rd and 2nd, but nothing really happening, as no one has any battery to gain or use. And it looks like Dan will be keeping P2. It looks like Cam will be keeping P3, but we'll see what happens as Nino's up into P5. And here goes Sasha. He's past Harvey. Has Harvey ran out of time as well to not score any points for the sprint race, as I believe it's Sasha who will take the final points paying position, if I'm correct on that. But let's go on board with Tuddy, as he's about to round the final corner of turn 20. He'll be delighted to win the sprint race here tonight at Texas. But ladies and gentlemen, there's your qualifying sprint race done. Now we move on to the main race, which can get quite exciting. But Cam in P3, Dan in P2, Zoro P4, Nino P5, Caterpillar P6, Antagonized P7, and Sasha to round out the final points paying position finishes in P8. Harvey missing out in P9, Zoe in P10, Adam P11, P12 for Jacob, Justin P13, and Luca. Devastating race for them on the opening stages. Wing damage cost them a lot. We'll start P14, and the drivers who got involved with contact or retired from the race because they couldn't score any points will start further back at the grid. But that was phenomenal to watch. Exciting sprint race. Ready for the main race. My voice box is hurting. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the main race. If you're tuning in, a warm welcome to everybody watching right now. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the chat. I would love to hear them. I'm going to have a sip of my drink because I need a drink right now because my voice box is dying. I'll be back in a few. Oh, that was absolutely crazy. Rightio then. I am back. And yeah, my voice box is a little bit sore. So I might struggle in the main race. So if you hear any voice cracking or you hear a lot of silent moments, I'm trying to recover my voice because it's a little bit difficult, of course, when you're on your own doing commentating. Well, it is and it's not. It isn't when you got, obviously, qualifying in the main race, but when you got qualifying, sprint race, and then the main race, it can be a little bit long, especially if you've got to do lobby restarts. Yeah. But we're going to ready up at 6 past in the UK. So in around about 2 to 3 minutes. We've got predictions in the chat coming from not Jordan. Hopefully I said that name right. Saying Cam winning. We've got Jack saying Cam P1. Okay. I'm liking these predictions. Any tyre strategies or anything, feel free to let me know as well. But let me know what you think's going to happen. Home track advantage. Interesting. Let's see, Jack. Let's see if Cam can pull it together and get the job done. Let's see what happens. But I'm gonna wait 2-ish minutes, and then we can crack on. Like I say, I really, from the bottom of my heart, I really do appreciate everybody for sticking around, tuning in, because you guys are awesome. For your patience, for the lobby restarts we had to do because of a game bug. I couldn't even thank you guys enough. I really do appreciate you guys for sticking around and stuff like that. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I really do. And this is why I love this community, and this is why I love doing commentating, to entertain you guys, because without you guys this wouldn't be possible. So I appreciate everybody for watching and sticking around with the lobby restarts I've had. Have to deal with me waffling on the camera screen, but I really do, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning around and sticking around. You're saying I see a vision of Nino, sorry, a podium as well. You know what, Jack? You know what? You're not wrong there, because Nino, they are an interesting character towards racing, shall I say, because with Nino, they are really good at saving their battery, and they will deploy their battery when they need to and when they think is the right time. So we could see Nino potentially a podium, potentially P1. Depends on how he performs and gets on. Rev Caterpillar P2. We could see that. As reminders of the constructors, we need to remember that there's a fight for McLaren and Aston Martin and Alpine, the top 3 constructors. If Aston Martin do well today, they'll close down the gap to McLaren, and if Alpine do well today, which they have so far, they could close the gap down to Aston Martin, and McLaren. It's going to be exciting. We'll see what happens. If Dan can score a lot of points, he could extend his championship lead, but we'll see what happens. But here we go then. 3, 4, 5 red lights once again here at Texas for the main race tonight, which we've all been waiting for. It's lights out, and away we go. Tuddy getting a pretty good start, a better start than Dan. But here comes Cam to turn 1 now, and he's not going to get the move done just yet, and he'll try and secure P2 for now. Very aggressive start by Cam, but there we are. Up to P2. That's a mega start for Cam, and that's what he'll need as Rev Caterpillar is up into P8, P7, P8, P7. He's trying to decide where he wants to go as the Red Bull goes off the track there, and comes back on, and Sasha in P8, fighting away with the Aston Martin. There's yellow flag, someone's round, and that's going to be Justin all the way down to P17, and I'll tell you what, Jack, it is facts indeed, my friend. But here we are then. Nino, look at this. Nino's had a mega start as well. He's gone past Dan, and that was a clean, lovely move at turn 11. No DRS yet. Not really draining the battery, but Dan's going to fight this one down to turn 12. Nino currently in provisional P3, which drops down to P4. But who is going to be last on the brakes at turn 12 and get the better exit? Or will Nino try and go for the switchback? He doesn't. But the Alpine stays ahead for now. Rev Caterpillar up into P17, or not 17, 7. As Sasha's dropped down to P8. They're still fighting away, these two. Absolutely easy. And Sasha's setting up the inside there. Are they going to get the move done? Are they going to make it stick? And they are indeed. The Aston Martin will have to conceal for now and drop down to P8. Just for this moment of time, we've got more yellow flags. Drivers around. That's also going to be Daddy in the AlphaTauri down in P17 as well. Not an ideal start for AlphaTauri, out of the points for moving their way up in the constructors. But here comes Zoe having a good race in the sprint race, but then a horrific end towards the end of the race, shall we say. That wasn't ideal, and it's not what he would have wanted. But yeah, it happens as Daddy gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that is a retirement for him. And will it be a double retirement for AlphaTauri as Justin's in the pit lane? And it's going to be a no. He's getting the front wing changed and a fresh set of tyres to see if he can catch the rest of the grid and hope for a safety car at some point in this race. But there's a big DRS train at the moment from P1 all the way down to P14. Absolutely crazy right now. But Cam in P2. Tuddy leads the way in P1, but Cam is gaining. Even without DRS, the toe is really powerful in this game. But Cam's going to back off for now and wait for the right time to pounce, which will probably be lap number 3 when DRS is activated and is enabled. But what's interesting is that antagonized on those hard tyres and is slowly starting to struggle ever so slightly to maintain and keep up with P4. But let's have a look at tyres. Everybody on the hard tyres, so going for the slow tyre first towards the faster tyre towards the end of the race. 2 drivers on the medium tyres, so we'll see what happens there. But right now, not much going on. I say that, the McLaren in P11 right on the rear end of Harvey, but I say that the gap has now opened up to 4 tenths. So yeah, all is kicking off and all is going on lap number 3, but everyone does, like I say, conserving tyres, conserving battery, and waiting for the right time to push, as Dan is right close to the rear wing, almost of Cam. So we might see Dan potentially go for a move, as Smeggy in P13 has unfortunately got a 3-second time penalty, and that'll be for multiple warnings on the track. If you want to know why they've got a warning, that'll just be because they've gone on and off the track too many times. You get 3 strikes, and then you get a 3-second time penalty, which isn't ideal. But Cam and P2 trying to turn on the battery and actually going to go for the move on lap 3 to lap 4 very shortly and get it done at turn 12. So Cam's your new race leader. We have a new race leader. I say that, and Cam's gone way too deep. And Tuddy once again got an awesome mega, you could say, nailed his braking zone, mega exit, and takes back P1 after Cam went too deep and too late on the brakes. And that has really put down on the back of him and antagonized, getting through and up into P4 past Nino there. Had a bit of wheel banging contact there, so there might be an aggressive move, you could say, But that was mega. That was amazing. I'm not doubting that one. That was off track as well from the McLaren. Hopefully that wasn't a warning, but that potentially could be a track limit warning. And Sasha as well, another victim, currently in P7, a 3-second time penalty for going on and off the track, which isn't ideal. The Rev Caterpillar trying to fight this one once again. And he might go for the switchback on Sasha. Can they get the move done? They're right on board with the Aston Martin driver currently in Sector 1. And no, at this moment in time, he can't get the move done. But it's fine for now. It's fine for now. There's still a long way to go. And antagonized. That's not what you want to see for Alpine if they want to score really good points here. Currently in P4. And now he's also going to be another victim of a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limit, which of course isn't ideal. Cam as well, trying to get back into the range, which he is within DRS, but that gap is opening up ever so slightly. Maybe, just maybe, that Red Bull is trying to go for the push and break the gap and break the toe. You never know, but oh, Dan. Getting an awful exit there. And can we see the two Alpines squabbling out for position? Well, one's defending and one's trying to fight. One's going to send up the inside. Both teammates going at it. And Antagonized just had to back off there from Dan. But those two fighting could have really done a costly position there, as Dan almost lost DRS to the driver ahead, but should get it back. And Nino, 10th behind, Antagonized. And he is really starting to push on those tyres and trying to make his way up the order. And saying that Dan has actually lost DRS at the moment, provisionally, to P2. If he can push really, really hard in Sector 1, he can get it back, as Cam made a little bit of a mistake there, a bit of a slide there from the Alfa Romeo, which opens up the door, opens up the gap. Dan will burn the battery as much as he can, and he's now back within a second, which he'll be very, very happy with. Looking elsewhere, everybody from P1 down to P13, or slightly, P14 out of the second, but trying to get back in, but can't at the moment. But everyone within a second, and not much is happening. Lap number 5, and it's all popping off. And Dan, 9/10 behind the driver ahead at the moment. So, yeah, he's now out of the second, but we'll put back in with DRS. But here goes Antagonized on his teammate. Down to turn 12. They're going to score once again. Hopefully no major contact. And there you are. They swap. But was that an aggressive swap? And was that swap needed? And I think it was, because it wasn't teammates coordinating. It was a teammate going against a teammate. As you can see there, Antagonized purple in Sector 2. So he was definitely pushing and using and draining that ERS to the lowest it possibly could be. As we look onwards and upwards to lap number 6 now. Those tyres will start to fade off ever so slightly, but it looks like there could be a potential no rain today, as it looks cloudy, but it looks like sunny spells and sunny skies, as Antagonized sets the fastest lap of the race, which I believe was a 1:32 something, and it was. And someone has unfortunately retired from the session. Not 1:32, sorry, a 1:36.4 is the fastest lap so far. But that is another retirement. That's going to be Jacob in the Alfa Romeo. And I believe they've had enough. So they're just going to retire, and they'll come back after the season break and hopefully do better at Las Vegas. But yeah, some drivers having a good result on the opening stint. Some just not having the best stint of their lives at the moment. But yeah, Alpine, I did not expect them to start fighting, which might have lost them a valuable time, and obviously draining the battery for no reason. But here comes Nino on Dan. Dan going defensive. Nino figuring out which way to go. Late on the brakes for the McLaren. He's tapping the Alpine just to let him know that he is there. And here comes the Mercedes of Zorro behind, currently in P6, maybe trying to make up maybe another position. And he's going to send up the inside on the McLaren at turn number 14, 15, out to 16 and 17. And that Mercedes can't find a way through just yet. But maybe, just maybe on the exit of turn, but possibly 20, if he drains his battery, if he's going to, he can make up another position there. And that Alpine of Dan is trying to do whatever he can do to make his car as wide as he possibly can, but he hasn't got the DRS to the driver ahead, and Nino isn't close enough to get the move done and wasn't really burning his battery. He doesn't want to really waste his battery, as of course antagonized 3-second time penalty. You know, he's not pushing too hard because he knows he can make up a free position from his teammate ahead, who obviously, like I said just now, has a time penalty, but antagonized really on the rear wing there of Cam. So he is definitely trying to push with hardly no battery. Cam with a lot, and Tuddy and Cam slightly on similar battery. The McLaren in P9 now getting up past that Williams, who drops down to P10. Zoe on much better battery than that McLaren. But let's go back up to the top 6, 5 and 4th, you could say. And that Mercedes of Zorro somehow finding a way through at turn 11 now. And he's managed to get that job done and dusted. But he's got to get past the Alpine. As I say that, there is a bit of server lag, so apologies about that. No idea what happened there. And Cam goes off the track, which I've just seen, as those two are fighting down to turn 12. And now it's antagonized up into P2, which is absolutely crazy. Don't know if there was contact between antagonized and Cam. If there was, I've slightly missed that one, which is slightly annoying, but it happens. But antagonized on the push, on the charge, and going all out and absolutely crazy, shall I say. Zorro in P5 at the moment, and wanting to find a lot more time and a lot more track position, especially on those hard tyres, and those mediums will start to wear off very, very shortly as well. So don't forget about that. Do not forget about the medium tyre as they wear off. So these hards have got to go very, very long for the mediums to last towards the end of the race. But here goes the McLaren again with the Mercedes at Avondue fighting for P10, and there you are, the McLaren up in the P10 once again. And now it's Harvey in P12. I'm not having a great race in the sprint race. Not really having a great race in the opener so far, or the first stint really of this main race, as that Mercedes has gone way too deep there. Harvey getting an awful exit. He's just struggling today. P12, not scoring any points. I believe he would love to score points, but unfortunately he can't at the moment, as Sasha in that Red Bull is about 2 tenths behind that Mercedes and got the battery turned on, but their battery is completely gone and there's not much they can do on the run down to turn 12 now. Yeah. Oh, is he? Is he bashing people off, is he? Oh, yikes. That's not ideal, is it, Ethan? Not ideal that the McLaren is bashing people off. That's not what you want, is it? Not what you want. But antagonized, unable to get up into P1. He burned so much of the battery to try and put a challenge to Tuddy, who's still leading this race. To lap number 9 we go. And Smeggy, once again, that's now another 3-second time penalty. And it is. Oh, or maybe another one on top of that, another one, as they've now got 12 seconds of penalties, which isn't ideal. So that really has really ruined their race so far. P3 for Cam so far. And he's actually lost a DRS to the top 2 ahead, which I believe are now pushing to run away from Cam, which wouldn't be a bad strategy call. Not a bad idea, but Cam poking his nose in, having a good sector 1, and back in DRS range. So nothing to stress, nothing to worry about, because Cam is your man, and Cam is there. Cam is in the zone. But that Mercedes, oh damn, he's gone way too deep, and that's really cost him significant time to the car ahead, and that would have really put Sasha with high hopes on Zorro. So Zorro maybe struggling with tyre temps, but we've got a close battle happening between, I want to say, the top 2, as antagonized in P2 at the moment. He's trying to put pressure on Tuddy, but there's not much Tuddy can do, as he's the leading car. So all he can do is just defend right about now. So let's see what happens as Cam, the gap opens up to 1.4 seconds now. So it's opening up every single time they go around this track, every single corner, and it's opening up so much. And this could be Dan's chance to get by the Alfa Romeo, but he hasn't turned on the battery to launch an attack. But he might have enough tow, enough power to get past the Alfa Romeo, and he was looking for it, but then he backs off. He thinks, you know what, I'll back off for now, and I'll wait for the exit at turn 11. That's what he's thinking right now, as Sasha is struggling to keep a P6, as those ahead of Sasha are starting to push a little bit more and get a little bit more aggressive and push and go, 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 go is all I can really say. So maybe Cam on lap number 10 could get swallowed up here by a lot of drivers. I was going to say, yeah, unfortunately, Jarno isn't in this. Jarno only participates in PC Tier 1, which I believe is hosted on Sundays. And speaking of the devil, we'll put a pause on that for now, as there's a bit of a fight as we make our way down to turn 12. Both got DRS. It's Mercedes versus McLaren fighting over P5, and Nino trying to get the position back and has to conceal for P6. And there's Cam and Dan going at it now, and Cam having to conceal maybe, and maybe having to back off and let the Alpine go for now, as Cam will, yeah, he'll have to back off. There's nothing Cam can do. But saying that, where was Dan going, shall we say? He had a bit of a moment there, and that's really put Cam on his gearbox. And that Mercedes in P5 now, 4 tenths behind, maybe looking to get a move done and get through very, very shortly. Yeah, Cam's pushing hard, I'll tell you that now. Cam is pushing to the max, which we love to see. So the only issue is, with all that fighting between Dan and Cam, the gap is now 2.4 seconds. So Cam will send up the inside at turn 1, but gets it all wrong once again. Bit of a scruffy exit there by Cam. The Mercedes now trying to set a challenge on the Alpine, but the Mercedes will have to conceal for P5 at the moment. But it's getting very, very spicy, and everything is starting to turn up here at Texas on lap number 11. But yeah, like I say, if Tuddy and Antagonize go the way they're going, they can just run away, build a massive gap, and fight towards the end. That's all they've got to do, because Tuddy hasn't got to worry, because obviously Antagonize has got a time penalty. So Antagonize will win it on track, but with penalties at the moment, Tuddy's for the win. We've still got a long way to go to the end of this race. Still a long way to go. And speaking of the devil, we've got the Mercedes as Zorro putting humongous pressure on Cam. I meant to say Dan there, but holy moly, I thought Dan was going into the back of Cam then, but look at that, the Mercedes going for a double overtake, and there's actually contact, and I think that's between the McLaren of Nino hitting the rear there of Dan, and Dan's lost quite a few costly positions there, and there's a lot more time penalties now. Zorro getting involved with a time penalty, a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting or something about the lines of that, so they've got to serve that when they go for their pit stop, which isn't ideal. But Zorro and Cam really going at it, really fighting really, really hard, which they don't need to do. But Cam under pressure, I say that, he's not really under pressure, but he's not got the DRS. He's going to send it up at turn 1, and Cam's got it all wrong. And for Cam getting it all wrong at turn 1, he's actually taken the Mercedes with him, and hopefully those two have not got damage. But Cam getting it wrong once again at turn 1, taking the Mercedes with him. That could be a penalty, a slam dunk penalty for Cam for forcing a driver off the track and taking a driver with him off the track, which is a bit of a yikes, but it happens. It's just really, really hard racing. But Cam pushing really, really hard, and that's not what you want to do. You don't want to push too hard, because if you push too hard, you're going to cook the tyres, you're going to overcook them, and your tyre wedge is going to come into play. And at that point, you're just a sit and duck, and you will not catch the top two the way it's going at the moment, a 4.4 second gap. Absolutely crazy. But the Williams looking right now as Harvey gets up into P11, gets past Adam, as Adam drops down to P12. But there's a bit of just a DRS train really happening, so not much I can really say at the moment, because normally this doesn't really happen when I'm doing league racing with WOR. Well, it does normally happen, but it doesn't. But this track is quite an easy track where everyone can stay within a second, get the DRS and just chill. So it's a bit of a different one today, because normally the gaps will be quite bigger. But we've got someone coming into the pit lane, actually, And it's going to be the McLaren. McLaren first to strike. McLaren in the pit lane? Is it the right call? Are the mediums finally dying off? And is it time for the hard tyres, which they should be able to go to the end of the race? But, obviously, they go to the end of the race, but that just means they all struggle towards the end, like the final few laps. But that was a bit of a, not a penalty, or not penalty, not a pit stop glitch. That was a, just a game glitch when you're on spectators. Sometimes when they leave the pits, it just gets stuck on the camera and they don't move. Just a bit of a visual glitch, so, yeah, nothing we can do about that, of course. But anyways, we focus our eyes to the top 4 right now, as Rev is right on the gearbox of Sasha, who's been promoted to P3 actually, which is absolutely insane. But here goes Rev for P3, takes it, gets it done before turn 12, and that is a lovely move. And Rev, all bit of a tap there between those two. There might have been slight contact, but luckily that didn't spin Rev round, or that would have been blood, sweat and tears. And Rev would have been feeling the pain 110%. But elsewhere on the track, not much going on. But what I can recall and what I can remember is when I keep our eyes on the McLaren in P13, the first one to box, is he going to be able to come out ahead of Zoe, Cam, Sasha and Rev Caterpillar as they come into the pit lane, off of those hards and on to the medium tyre. Let's go on board with the McLaren as they come into the exit at turn 20. It's actually going to be quite close on exit, you could say. So let's go on board with Rev. Here he comes. Here he goes. Here comes the McLaren down to turn 1. Was it the right call? Was it too early? The McLaren just about gets ahead of the the Red Bull driver and up into P10, but he's on those hard tyres against medium tyres. That could be interesting, but obviously those tyres for the first lap with the drivers who are boxed are going to be cold, but not as cold and not as difficult as those hard tyres are still in the warm-up temperature, you could say. But here goes P1 and P2 fighting once again at the end of turn 12. It's antagonized back in P2 and Tuddy up into P1, so this could indicate that they're going to be boxing very, very shortly, which I wouldn't be surprised with. But so much is happening. So many more drivers to box, I believe. Look at detail-wise. Yeah, P1 down to P7 still need to box for a fresh set of tyres. But the big question is, when are they going to box? And what time they're going to come in and call it? And in comes the Red Bull, and in comes antagonized. They're in. What's everyone else going to do behind? Like Nino. Nino is coming in. Zorro is going to stay out, which is a bit interesting. Harvey's in, which is also interesting. A bit of contact there. But no speeding penalty going to the drivers, which was a bit of a scary moment. But what's going to be the big crucial thing? Tuddy in the pit lane, about to come to pit exit. Is Dan or Smeggy, who boxed early, going to get ahead of antagonized? It's close, but antagonized stays ahead, which I believe is quite surprising. Yeah, 5 laps on those mediums though for Smeggy. Yeah, they're going to struggle towards the end. I can say that right now. They're going to struggle just a tad and just a little bit. But look at that, Tuddy just chilling on those tyres, and he's already closed that gap very, very quickly. So just showing how quick those tyres can be in warm-up temperature and just so hard on the push. But Tuddy in P3, and I believe Adam is yet to box. Yes, Adam is yet to box. So when he boxes, he may struggle just a little bit. But Zora and P1 have to box very, very shortly. But when he boxes, he might be out of the points. So he's got a lot of work to do on fresher tyres than some of the drivers on the grid. So let's see what happens as Tuddy is right on the gearbox. Bit of contact there between the Mercedes. The Mercedes of Adam really holding up the Red Bull here. And Adam defending, or trying to hold the Red Bull up a tiny, and there's contact between the two. Could that be front wing damage? Hopefully not. But there is contact once again between the Mercedes and the Red Bull as through goes antagonized to take P3. And the Williams trying to burn as much as he possibly can to get a position up into P4. And that is the Mercedes who is looking. And the Williams might go for the switchback, and he does for P4, and they get the job done. Lovely switchback at turn 1. The McLaren fighting onwards and upwards with Sasha, trying to get a position gain if he can. And Sasha is round. There was slight contact between those two, and that was really unfortunate for Sasha. But Adam, I don't know if he's struggling on tyres or he's actually got damage, but look at this. Cam sneaking up the inside, and he might get 2 positions in 1, but he did get forced off there a little bit by the Mercedes, who's doing whatever he can to spoil the party for the drivers who are on the fresher tyres. And that's once again, that's now wing damage from the Mercedes. Yeah, that is interesting. Don't really understand what Adam Dude was really doing there. Yeah, but we'll see what happens with Cam now. And Zoe, P6 with Zoe, Cam and P7. These two's going at it. And like I say, they don't want to be fighting too hard, because the more they fight, the more they're going to lose to the cars up ahead. Zorro still out on those hard tyres. When on earth is he coming into the pit lane? He's not coming in yet. He's not coming in. He doesn't want to come in just yet. Absolutely crazy. Bit of a massive slap, tanker slap there. But what's interesting is he waiting for a safety car. Could that be potential? Is he just waiting for a safety car to happen? If so, we'll find out very, very shortly. But Zorro so far leads the way, but the gap is ever so slightly coming down as Amandu is into the pit lane and retired. Ethan, yeah, that was some interesting racing we just saw there. That might get reported, that might get looked into. But yeah, in my opinion, that wasn't on. That shouldn't have been like that. But sometimes it happens if drivers are getting hot-headed. Say, for example, you tap someone on track and then they tap you back a little bit more aggressive. They may just trying to be doing it because they're a bit annoyed that they've just been hit for no reason. But, of course, you shouldn't show aggression on track, and you shouldn't show that kind of spark and flare on track as well. But here goes Zoe on his teammate, actually. They're swapping, and his teammate might try and go for a switchback, and that's Zoe up into P5 and Smeggy down into P6 as Cam is in P7. Hopefully Cam hasn't got any hefty damage on his car. He's going to go for a lunge up the inside of 15, shall we say, and gets the move. Ooh, is he going to get the move done? There's slight contact between those two. Cam, he does get the move done, but that Williams is still on the gearbox of Cam, which might indicate that on the exit of turn 20, if he gets a good exit, he could get DRS, but Cam just ever so slightly ahead will defend and keep his position. But Zorro's into the pit lane, serving his penalty, I believe, and going on to a set of medium tyres, which obviously he has to do as he boxed for, or as he was on hards. He's got to go for mediums because soft tyres won't last that long. And Tuddy, once again, new race leader, leads the way in P1. We've antagonised in P2, very close behind. And there's a 2.1 second gap for P1 and 2 from P3. But so far, Rev Caterpillar chilling and doing everything he can. As Sasha, once again, a time penalty for exceeding track limits. If we have a look at that build-up now, time penalties, it's now 9 seconds, sorry. I'm getting myself confused. Smeggy is on 15 seconds as Sasha is up into P10, but not for much longer as Harvey is up into P10 himself, getting by the Red Bull once again. And that is job done, move done. Lovely stuff. Right about now, lap 18, almost 8 laps remaining of this lovely, slightly interesting Texas race, shall we say. But yeah, we'll see what happens towards the end. Gaps are now starting to open up from P5 to P4 to P3, and the top two quite close to each other. So they need to score really good points, but Antagonized may use the advantage and the upper hand here. If he can't get P1, he'll try and go for P2, as there's some drivers actually into the pit lane. That's a retirement from Sasha. Smeggy's in to switch tyres, as their tyres are quite old, so they won't last to the end of the race unless they want to be doing punctures and donuts for the last couple of laps and trying to limp their way around the track. But going back to the top two, Antagonized with a 3-second time penalty, he'll just be looking to stay behind Tuddy. Tuddy will pull him along to then build that gap from Rev Caterpillar, and then have a great battle towards the end of the race and succeed in taking P2, unless that is a penalty glitch and could be redundant to P1, but we'll just see what happens. Of course, nothing will be confirmed yet. Obviously, when this race finishes, it would be provisional race results, as some drivers would like to make a report, and then the standings will get updated, everything will be done and dusted, and then you get the actual race results, which will happen in a day or two. But look at this, Tuddy down, dropped down to P2 as Antagonized went for the move there. Tuddy, as you saw there, didn't really fight it as he would do aggressively, because there's no point fighting it, you know? Antagonized's got a time penalty. They've still got a similar battery, the pair of them, you know? 3.4 is the gap behind. They're just building every single lap towards the end of this race. It's absolutely great to see, you know? Awesome battling. Some great battles are seen. Some interesting ones were seen. But Cam in P6 with time penalty. He is 2.2 seconds off the car ahead. But Cam on for a win today might not be possible, unfortunately. Hate to say it, but it might not be possible with the way it's happening right now, because he's just been involved with some incidents which hasn't been his fault, forced off by some drivers. He had a tough race today. He does deserve a podium, but with the way it's going, I don't think he'll be able to, unfortunately, get high up enough to get a podium and get started with and get sorted with, really. So, yeah. We'll see what happens with that, as Nino going up against the Williams down to turn 12 and gets the move done and dusted. And Zoe tried to fight that one in the background. His teammate getting up into P6 now past Cam. So Cam losing a position to the McLaren. And Cam now down to P7, which isn't ideal. So maybe Cam is starting to struggle on those tyres, as wear will start to come into play right about now, with 8 laps remaining of this Texas Grand Prix. But Tuddy, you know, that gap, like I said, behind us is building ever so much. And then it will just chill, and then push towards the end of this race. So yeah, as someone's in the pit lane, that's going to be Cam. Cam's in. 5-second time penalty. Please don't tell me it's a retirement for Cam. Please don't tell me it's a retirement. It isn't, but he does not want to be added with that 5 seconds. That's absolutely awful for Cam there. That's not what he would have wanted. He puts on the soft tyres to try and score as many points as he can today, but nah. Harvey placing on the front wing, going on to the soft tyres as well, but Cam, 5-second time penalty. Could his race get any worse? It really can, and a real shame and a lot of pain probably strike through the heart, and just in general, really, like, I could feel the upsettingness of how he must feel with having that penalty. And else what? But not long. 7 laps to go. Tuddy still in P2, just chilling and saving the battery. And Antagonized in P1 with a penalty at the moment. But Antagonized, even if he fights someone and he loses out, he's still going to get P2, because Rev Caterpillar is 5 seconds behind. And what's absolutely tremendous and fantastic with P4 and P3, somehow Nino has magicked up time and has managed to catch P3. That is incredible. I'm sorry, but that is absolutely amazing. And that's the red time on track. Smeggy has crashed, and that has actually brought out a late safety car. A late safety car on lap 21, and that gives a chance to Zoe to box with soft tyres. Nino, unfortunately, misses his opportunity to get into that pit lane, and his teammate is actually going to come in for a set of softs. Everybody behind is going to come in for a set of soft tyres. Potentially Cam might go in for a fresh set. Maybe Harvey. We do not know, but a safety car on lap 22. Absolute drama. Hits the floor. Hits the drum. Hits the bass. Absolutely crazy. But that is not what Toddy would want. He is going against drivers who are on like 8 or 7 lap old tyres behind and in front of him. But with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers on the soft compounded tyres, this ending could be crazy and absolutely insane to watch. So make sure, if you need a drink or you need to pop to the loo, or potentially you might need to go and grab a snack or some popcorn, now is the time to do it. Because I tell you what, you do not want to miss this restart with how crazy and exciting it's going to be. Because you can tell right now, I'm excited and I want it to pop off. I want it to start. But we've just got to wait. We've got to wait. And I'm not a fan of waiting, but we've just got to wait a little bit. We can get racing once again. And it's going to be crazy. Soft tyres against mediums. Who could have guessed? Who could have guessed? To strap in is going to get exciting. But like I say, guys, you've been awesome today. Sticking around, chilling with me, you know, after, like I keep saying, the lobby restarts, me waffling on whilst the lobby's being sorted. I really do appreciate you guys for sticking around. This is a shock. But interestingly, Antagonize comes in, Tuddy comes in, Rev comes in, Nino comes in. That is interesting. So they've come in for soft tyres, which is not interesting. Someone new set of tyres, but they're now going to have to fight through the grids to get back where they were. How interesting is that going to be, chat? Please let me know. We've got Zola saying it didn't want that safety car, lol. I mean, yeah, but it happens, you know. It happens to the best of us. You've got a safety car. Just do what you possibly can. Relax on the restart. Push when you can. You'll be fine. You'll be fine, trust me. You'll be fine. But what isn't ideal is Cam. His day gets worse. He's now got 12 seconds of time penalties. Yeah, Sasha, I did see. It was interesting. What I can suggest, Sasha, is if you've got footage, feel free to report it. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. I did see. Don't panic. I did see. I did see indeed. Yeah. I saw that. But what, like I say, all I can suggest, just feel free to report it, and I promise you it will get dealt with. I promise you. I know, but yeah, it won't help you, of course, but it might lose him out a couple of places. But let's just move on, you know, and we get back into the race. Oh damn, yeah, damn, that is a bit crazy though, and a bit harsh with 3 laps before the 3 laps TT before the race. That's crazy. But here we go then. Zoe will back up the pack on the soft tyres for a restart on lap 23 to lap 24. Not many laps till the race is done and dusted, but here we go then. He takes them away for green flag racing. Is anyone close enough to make a pounce? Anyone at all? Doesn't look like it is. I say that, and Dan's looking for a move, and he backs off completely at turn 1, and he's patient and waits just for a mo. But here we go then. everyone within a second. We will get DRS at some point. 24, 25, 26, around about 26, 27. So you get a lap or two of DRS. Absolutely crazy. But let's see what happens. Yep. We'll see what happens, won't we? A lot can happen, a lot can unfold. But so far, the Williams and P1 doing a stellar job of trying to break away. But burning that battery as well. The McLaren doing the same thing, burning that battery. It's all about exit. And I say that, look at Tuddy. Right on the wheel, you could say, almost, of that Alpine. Late braking happening. He's going to put his nose in on the Alpine. Oh, the Alpine went way too deep there. And Tuddy said, thank you very much, very, very much. I'll take P number 5. And onwards and upwards with the rest of the gaggle of cars that await for my aggressiveness, shall we say. But Rev now. Rev up into P6, getting passed almost by the Alpine. Didn't realise the Alpine was still there, actually. But making their way through the double right-handers to the double left-handers now. They're still going to make contact. And Rev's gone off the track and antagonized. Has come back on. Well, not come back on. He's gone past the Aston Martin and takes P6 once again. Yeah, it's hammer time for Tuddy. He's got a lot of work to do. He's actually going to go for a move at turn 1 once again on the Mercedes. What's he going to do? Has he got enough traction? No, he hasn't. He's got a bit of marbles on his tyres, which won't help his exit whatsoever. But there we are. Tuddy on the push, on the charge here tonight at Texas, on soft tyres towards the end of this race. Can't get past the Mercedes yet. It's all about the exit at turn 10 to turn 11. If he can get close enough, he can get past that Merc. He could get past. It is close indeed. It is very close. How come, Liam? What's happened? Feel free to share if you'd like to. As that Red Bull is gaining and gaining and gaining and gaining on the Mercedes, but isn't gaining enough. But down to turn 12 we go. And saying that, Rev and Antagonize going wheel to wheel, and that's Rev back up into P6, but Antagonize will send up the inside, but doesn't have the grip or momentum to get the job done. So Antagonize back into P6 where he belongs, and Zoe actually with a time penalty now. I believe that's going to be 3 seconds, and it is. So he will drop significantly down the order if he continues as Cam once again. Another 3-second time penalty, which just adds and adds and adds and adds and adds. So Cam's race going from worse to even more worse, which isn't ideal. But not much is happening. And DRS should be enabled very, very shortly. So we'll see what happens. As my voice box is absolutely dying. It is just dying. My voice hurts. Everything hurts. I cannot wait for this race to be done and dusted. It has been a long one today. It's been a long one today. I tell you that. It's been a long one. Dan is around about 9/10 out. He's actually out of the DRS. He might not get DRS down his back straight. I feel like he might have missed it, but I feel like he might have not missed it. I'm not too sure. We'll see what happens. That Mercedes gets a horrible exit there. And has he got DRS? Oh, it's not on yet, is it? No, mind. It's not activated. Ignore me. Oh, no, it is activated. Apologies, folks. I'm getting confused and getting a bit muddled up with what's going on. But Cam having a bit of a wobble there on that straight. But Nino, around about 3/10 behind, antagonized at the moment. Not getting the move done just yet. Appreciate everybody for still staying tuned in for this crazy console tier 3 season 15 round 7 USA known as Texas race. It is crazy. It is stonking. No idea. I mean, Cam just set a mega lap time to be on pole position. It was a crazy lap. If you want to watch the qualifying, go back to the beginning again because it was absolutely crazy. On the exit of turn 5, they all get DRS. They all get it now. So that McLaren can reel in that Williams up ahead, and Tuddy can slowly reel into the drivers up ahead as well. Penultimate lap of the race now, before lap 28, before the final lap of the race. Penultimate lap. What can these drivers do to change the results of this race? Can Tuddy get back to where he was and get back into P2 potentially to take the victory here at Texas, as that seems to be everybody's favorite in the chat right now. Exactly. So what can everybody do as the McLaren goes for P1 and takes it off the Williams, which is now demoted down to P2? What can the Mercedes of Dan do? He gets really close to the rear wing of that Alpine, and that McLaren will just try to run away now, but Zorro can't do anything just yet. He gets close, but not close enough. Not close enough. But Tuddy, he's here, and he's ready to pounce, and he's got a lot of battery. Everybody's got a lot of battery. What's going to happen on the final lap? It's going to be chaos. It's going to be carnage. We're about to find out what's about to happen. On the exit of turn 20, Tuddy will start the final lap of this race. And now it's time to burn that battery and crack on. Yeah, Zola, that is true, but unfortunately, I do try my best to pronounce the names here, but the issue is I'll be honest with you guys on the stream, I do suffer with something called dyslexia, so the words with my end will probably look different, or the name will look different, or a bit jumbled up, so if I am pronouncing names wrong, I do apologise, but I am trying my best, but it's just a lot going on, and sometimes when there's a lot going on, I do bottle a lot of names, shall I say. But here is the Mercedes now. Right on the rear wing, actually, of the Alpine. He's actually going to go for a move at turn 12. Is the Alpine going to deserve a late break? He's going to challenge. No, he's not going to challenge. And look at Tuddy. He's trying to get involved on the action, but gets blocked by the Alpine as he ran out of straight, you could say. But the McLaren is back into P2. Will take the win on track. Take the win by penalties. And Zoe will take it P1 on track. But with penalties, McLaren will take the win. And I think the McLaren really deserves to win today here at Texas. So here we go then. Round turn 20 to end off tonight. What's been absolutely crazy as Cam spun around there. Zoe will win it on track. But the McLaren will take P1. Zora will take P2. Dad will take P3. Tuddy will take P5. 6th for Rev. Nino 7th. Alpine 8th. Harvey 9th. And Cam coming around to take the final points paying position. And there you are, as he's trying to get around the track but mowing the lawn, and kind of struggling there, but that was absolutely insane to watch. So yeah, that was unlucky for Tuddy with the safety car. I thought he would have stayed out, to be honest, and defend really hard, but he didn't. He concealed to boxing, and he only regained only like 1 or 2 or 3 positions, which isn't ideal, really. So, yeah. But that's the race done and dusted, guys. What did you think? Let me know in the chat. What do you think? Was it a good one? Was it a good fight to the end? I know we had some moments, but qualifying was fun. The sprint race was fun to watch. Everything was fun about it. And Sasha, thank you for the very kind words. That really means a lot to me. I'm absolutely knackered. It's been a very long stream today. My voice box, you can probably tell, is absolutely dying. So I need to chill. And I need to relax as we watch the lovely podium celebrations happen right now on stream. And just to top it all off for your top 3, McLaren taking P1, P2 for Zorro, and Dan in P3. So Dan, that helps him in the championship standings, which he'll be very delighted with. So that will pull him, I believe, further away, which he'll be happy with. Unlucky to Tuddy with the safety car. Top plot twist. It was indeed a crazy plot twist towards the end of this chaotic race, shall we say. But guys, you've been awesome. Few things from me then. Let me just quickly switch to that. Lovely screen. if it's not letting me. Okay, never mind. Gonna have to do it manually, unless I press this button. There we go. You see me again. Oh, yeah. 2 hours of commentating, Joseph. It's not easy at all. Jack, thank you very much for the kind words. Guys, you've been awesome. We won't be back next week. As I keep saying, there's going to be a season break next week. So we'll catch you guys after that week for some more racing action. I'm signing off. My throat is absolutely dry. Absolutely dying. My voice hurts. Everything hurts. Guys, you've been awesome. I'm going to end it off with some adverts. And after that, I'll catch you guys in about 2 weeks' time. For now, peace.